Okay, we got nobody wants to work anymore in the style of sarcastic letters from How Money Works. Okay. Um at least that's what I take it as. When someone types like this is like sarcastic. Um okay, let's go.
It's a classic gripe of out-of-touch corporate executives hiring minimum wage workers or the trust fund baby who is angry that their gym is busy in the middle of the day. Nobody wants to work anymore.
Mm,
Now, I really hate to say this, but
just hire some robots. Robots want to work.
by looking at the numbers, they might have a point. Labor force participation is approaching generational lows even after the pandemic, while labor force participation amongst men specifically is the lowest it has ever been.
Oh.
These declines have been happening at the same
Well, all the man jobs can get replaced by robots and AI. Just hire the robots, dude. Quit bitching. Stupid ass CEO. Gonna come complaining to me. Shut up.
time that unemployment is theoretically quite low, which, if the economists are to be believed,
Oh, the unemployment rate. So I have no idea how the unemployment rate is calculated. Um, I just simply don't know. I mean, there's no way it's actually as simple as, let's see, U.S. population, about 330-ish million. And then, kids don't really work. So there's a good chunk of the percentage. Let's say, what would you say, like percentage wise, of the entire population? Like a third? Or like a quarter? People are living longer. Somewhere between a third and a quarter of the population are kids, under 18. And don't give me this. Oh, I was working at 16. Well, shut up. Okay. I don't know where I was going with that, but the unemployment rate. Nobody wants to work. Unemployment rate is so low. Where's if no one wants to work, why is the unemployment rate so low? Does that mean everybody has a job? Is the economy booming? I mean, you tell me.
economists are to be believed means it should be easy for people who want to get a job to get a job, right? Well, not quite.
Oh.
And these numbers are confusing at best or downright misleading at worst.
Is people just don't want to go to
There was
work.
a poll I read a long
Oh, people just don't want to go to work. Oh, boy.
time ago. Only like 18% of Americans feel engaged when they're at work.
I hate my job!
This side.
Most people don't like their job. And the people that do, you could probably divide the people that do say they like their job, cut that percent in half, and only half of those people actually like their job. The other half are lying.
Signs are everywhere. Businesses, especially restaurants, need employees and they need them
Dude,
now.
less than 20% of the country likes their fucking job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, was that guy actually spitting facts? Eh.
So there are two general schools that people fall into when they see that nobody wants to work anymore. The first group are wealthy executives, business owners, or just people who have always worked incredibly hard who don't like that jobs are going unfilled. So they blame it on lazy young people who would rather sit around all day smoking cones and watching skibbity toilets. The second school of thought agrees that yes, people don't want to work.
What do you think all those fucking CEOs are doing? They're just sitting around all day, smoking cones and watching Skibbity Toilet. A stupid hypocrite.
Don't want to work demeaning jobs where they won't get paid enough to support a decent quality of life. It's nice when two groups who are so different can agree on something. So really, the only thing left is to work out why people don't want to work. Now, in most cases, the jobs that nobody wants to work fall into one of three categories.
Oh,
The
I'm
first
here.
are jobs that are just paying well below market rates given the experience or the location required. Businesses aren't going to be able to fill a full-stack senior development role in Silicon Valley for $50,000 a year plus equity in their questionable pre-seed startup. But there are still plenty that try. even entry-level jobs that pay minimum wage in very high cost of living areas are going to be much harder to fill in a city where even finance bros are living in shared housing.
Really?
Now, hot take alert.
What's a finance bro?
But just like there are no shortage of crappy businesses and managers that expect to pay workers nothing for world-class skills and experience, there are lots of workers who...
Yeah, have you ever like tried to apply for a job where it's like, okay, we need this position filled and you need to have at least 2 or 3 years of experience, and that's literally every job title like that. So it's like, well, how do I get the experience? Well, how do I apply for that job? How do I get the experience? Well, you kind of just have to know a guy. Nobody really cares. I mean, and how do you even vouch for this? Well, you lie. That's what you do. You simply lie. You get your Joe Schmo buddy that has run, let's say you're applying to like CC's Pizza. Oh, you're applying for like the manager position. Oh, yeah, I worked for my other boss. Meanwhile, it's your friend that has some business that, you know, they can look up real quick and be like, yeah, this person worked for me from this date to that date. They had this position. These were their duties. It was super sad to see them go. He was a very valuable employee. He was a very valuable manager. And that's do that. Literally just do that. Most managers will probably not take the time to dig that deep into your job experience. They just need a body.
To expect world-class pay with little or no marketable expertise. One of the most insightful pieces of data on this issue is this recent survey right here. It asked a selection of Americans what they considered to be the minimum salary they would need to be financially successful. Now, most of the responses...
Oh, wait. Salaries Americans say they consider the minimum to be financially successful. Oh, shit. What happened here? And this bar just goes way the fuck over here. Bro, I don't make any of these. What the fuck? I don't even make this. I would consider that successful, but I fall in like there. This is also probably contextualized around what state you're in. Like, let's be honest. Some states, it's just more expensive to live in like California or New York or something like that than it is in like a state that's like on the southern part of the United States or something like that. It just is. So all these numbers kind of signal to me that where all these data empowered chart Axios visuals, like what state were all these people like surveyed in? Was this like how many people were surveyed in this thing? Where were what was like the living state of like each participant and stuff like that? Like, I need like a little bit more context for these numbers, but I mean, whatever.
To these numbers have been laughing at the Gen Zs just entering the workforce who think that almost $600,000...
That's like hilarious. I need 600K to be financially successful. Damn. That's crazy. Isn't this like one of the... what's the one after this? Is it like Gen Alpha or something? I don't know. Isn't this like the generation that everybody wants to be a YouTuber? I mean, shit. I mean, I fall in right here, but I still want to be a YouTuber. Yeah, like, Jesus.
A year is a realistic salary goal. Because for most people,
Well, you didn't ask. Well, I don't think these people asked what was like a realistic salary goal. They just wanted to figure out a number or whatever the consensus was for people in any given generation, what they considered financially successful.
It just isn't. Unless you are in a few very specific career paths, there are basically no jobs that pay this money.
Yeah.
And even then, you need an insane amount of luck to get those opportunities.
AKA, you have to know a guy.
Now, you can blame this on young people who don't really know how the world works yet, or social media that makes it look like every hustle bro is flying private, but it's all distracting from a more interesting data point. The average boomer thinks financial success.
Honestly, I think how the world works is being slowly revealed each generation, and each generation is figuring out how the world works, like slowly but surely. I, if that's one thing I've learned is like the internet will simply just reveal all the mysteries of whatever you have questions for. And lo and behold, the generation that was brought up with really good internet know how to do shit.
Success is achieved with a salary of just under $100,000. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, this is still almost double the median national salary. But in most major cities where people can actually find jobs that pay this much, $100,000 certainly doesn't afford a lifestyle of financial success. There is simply a massive gap in expectations between the generations looking for their first jobs and the group responsible for giving out most of the jobs, so they both agree that nobody wants to work, just for different reasons.
Yeah.
The second type of job that nobody wants to work are in.
Let me see. These guys don't want to work, and they don't want to work because they don't want to have the value of their work be like devalued, and these guys don't want to give out like a good paycheck because in their mind, if one person doesn't want to work, they'll just simply find another brick to put in their wall of their business. And admittedly, it is their business. They can do whatever they want with their business. But, you know, if you're going to sit here and say, oh, nobody wants to work or anything like that, well, just go fill the damn job with a robot or an AI or something. Figure it out. Like, you're literally depending on, you're depending on like random people to fill your position when these guys have no obligation to help you in your business. Just like these guys have no obligation to give you a job. So that's how this statement comes to pass.
He wants to work, just for different reasons. The second type of job that nobody wants to work are in workplaces that push their staff, demand unreasonable overtime, or have management that are needlessly abusive.
Yeah.
This happens in a shocking amount of businesses across the country. And even if you are lucky enough to avoid a boss that thinks shouting is an effective motivation tool, you have probably worked some overtime out of fear of losing your job or being reprimanded. According to a 2023 workplace survey, the average full-time worker across the country studied is now putting in an average of 9.2 hours of unpaid overtime.
Really? That's crazy. Now, according to global figures from ADP Research Institute, 1 in 10 people say they work at least 20 hours a week for free. What the fuck are these guys doing? This one person out of 10 is literally ruining it for the rest of everybody else. On average, workers are posting about 9.2 hours of unpaid overtime every week. So let's say like 9 hours at $15 an hour. What the fuck is that? I am retarded. Not Paint. I'm just opening Paint out of habit. 15 times 9, $135. $135 ain't nothing. $135 is about a copy of surprise, surprise, Star Wars Outlaws or Assassin's Creed Shadows. How about that?
These jobs often don't have much trouble finding people to start, but they do struggle with high staff turnover. The third are simply jobs that never actually existed. You probably all know about ghost jobs by now, but even if you really do want to work, there is a good chance that most of your applications are just going to
What's a ghost job?
Start, but they do struggle with high staff turnover. The third are simply jobs that never actually existed. You probably all know about ghost jobs by now.
Why are some companies posting ghost jobs? What the fuck is a ghost job? Wait. What is a ghost job? I am learning. What? A ghost job is a job listing that appears online for a position that is not actually open or available for hire. So why the fuck? This seems like illegal. Like what? What the heck? A fake job posting used to gauge market interest? How is this legal? Posting a fake job. What the fuck? What a bunch of slime motherfuckers.
But even if you really do want to work, there is a good chance that most of your applications are just going to build out a workforce database, not to actually be considered for employment.
Yeah.
Now, whatever the specific reason, the results are the same. Less people end up working. But aside from settling some beef between entitled Zoomers and some out-of-touch boomers, this data all reveals something more concerning about work in the current economy.
Ooh, what's that?
It's not that people don't want to work anymore. They simply can't afford to. So it's time to learn how money works to find out what's really behind the worst phrase in the workplace. This week's video is sponsored by MyHeritage. Ever wondered what remarkable stories are hidden in your family history? MyHeritage is the—
Oh wait, is this like the Ancestry.com or 23andMe or something like that? I did one of those. These are pretty cool.
world's leading platform for genealogy research and DNA testing, trusted by over 90 million users worldwide.
It's like whenever I did this, I didn't do this one, but it's like they send you like a little plastic tube. You spit in the tube, and I think you do like a— I don't remember if I did like a swab thing. Maybe I did. But then you like put like this little clear liquid in the thing, and then you seal it up, and then you put it in the baggie, and you just mail it off, and then you have like an account, and then they're just like type all that information in this account, and then it's like you get like a little text, and it's like, oh, all your stuff's good, and it's like, oh wow, you get like all the percentages of like you're this, you're that, whatever. I was not at any percentage have any African American in me. What a surprise! Ooh, I'm mostly Italian.
Wide. With 20 billion historical records and advanced AI tools, MyHeritage makes exploring your roots not just accessible, but truly enjoyable. Here's a fun discovery I made. My great-grandfather started a brewery in Germany, and it's still thriving today. Imagine finding out your family's legacy is still making its mark. That's the kind of excitement MyHeritage can unlock. I started my journey by adding a few basic details, and their instant discoveries feature brought my family tree to life with whole new branches in seconds. It was incredible to learn about connections I didn't even know I had, including distant cousins who lived fascinating lives.
That's
One
kind
of
of
my
cool.
favorite parts of using MyHeritage is transforming old black and white photos with their photo colorization and animation tools. When I colorized a photo of my great-great-grandmother Sophie, it felt like stepping back in time and seeing her smile come to life. The animations even added a touch of
Oh my god, they literally Harry Pottered her. Oh my god. What the fuck?
personality, showing what her expressions and mannerisms might have been like. And it's not just about what you see. MyHeritage also lets you deep dive into historical records to uncover stories and details. From ship manifests to old census data, seeing your ancestors' lives unfold in official documents is like piecing together a historical puzzle.
That's
Ready
crazy.
to discover your own family's hidden stories? MyHeritage offers a 14-day free trial so you can experience the platform's full range of features. Start your journey today.
That's pretty cool.
Trust me, you'll be amazed by what you uncover. Okay, so yeah, there are millions of people out there that think nobody wants to work because they couldn't hire someone with 20 years of experience on a programming language that has only been out for 5 years for $15 an hour. There are also people who don't want to work because they think unless they are offered 6 figures in their first role out of high school, it's not worth their time, and they would be better off sitting at home working on their NFT dropshipping business.
What? NFT dropship business? What?
Both of these groups definitely exist in shockingly large numbers, but even though it's really fun to make fun of both sides, it distracts
Oh, that meme. The Bored Ape Yacht Club meme.
from the much more important reason why labor force participation is getting worse. Well, as you might have been able to guess, this trend is really being driven by specific age groups and specific locations. If you look at labor force participation and exclude the youngest generation of workers and the oldest generation of workers, it's actually approaching all-time highs, which really makes sense when you think about it. It's common for both men and women to work full-time these days.
Yeah.
For most households, it's simply a financial necessity. So yeah, even if people don't want to work anymore, they kind of are stuck doing it anyway.
And that's the key word. Stuck doing it. None of these people want to be doing this. I guarantee you, if any of these motherfuckers won the lotto, they would dip out, probably just go off, do a bunch of drugs, and die because they had too much sex. Okay, sex and drugs. That is probably your best bet if you win the lotto. Forget all of that being financially responsible bullshit of, oh, I'm gonna invest and I'm gonna make my money work for me. And then, bro, this is the funny part. I'll you ask that question, oh, what would you do if you won like millions of dollars if you won the lotto? You get like some stupid ass answers like, oh, I would go move out in the woods so I don't have to talk to somebody, blah blah blah, or I'd go buy an island so I don't have to talk to anybody. You're stupid. You enjoy all the amenities that society has to offer. You're stupid. You're retarded.
The reason labor force participation has fallen off in general, though, is because the average is being dragged down by a lot of young workers and old workers. The old workers are the easiest to explain. As people started living longer, retirement ages were pushed back, and more of the population began working in non-physical jobs. As a result, a larger share of the population over 55 remained in the workforce. This has started to reverse, though, as self-funded retirement systems and general asset prices have allowed a lot of over 55s to step back from the labor force, especially after COVID, as a lot of people received severance packages and decided that an early retirement was better than going back to the office.
Yeah.
Labor force participation from young people just entering the workforce either out of high school or college is also pulling down the average, just for different reasons. More people than ever are getting a college degree, which means they are starting to work later. And fewer people are working part-time jobs while they study because for many, it's simply not worth it given how much debt they are going to be in when they graduate anyway. This might not also be a shock to you, but it's getting really damn hard to find a job out of college. A few months ago, a post from a professor at Berkeley.
It's really hard to find a job straight out of college. Doesn't that depend on like what type of degree you get? Like, isn't it, I'm just guessing, isn't it easier to like get a degree, or not to get the degree, to get a job if you have like some sort of like STEM degree or something, science, technology, engineering, math? And if not like a STEM degree, go to like a trade school, or maybe they're just like, maybe those are like two separate things. Because like the trades aren't really going anywhere. Like plumber, electrician, police, fire, what else? Construction. But then again, all of those are like pretty like physically demanding jobs. So,
made the rounds after it spoke about his top students from a top college struggling to find work in technology, an industry that was hiring highly intelligent graduates like this as fast as they could make them just 24 months ago. Previously, a Berkeley CS graduate, even if not a top student, would receive multiple appealing job offers in terms of work type, location, salary, and employer. However, outstanding students, like those with a 4.0 in major GPA, are now contacting me worried because they have zero offers. I suspect this trend is irreversible and likely part of the broader trend impacting almost every employment sector. It's pretty grim stuff coming out of one of the best schools in the—
I hate to say this, but a person starting their degree today may find themselves graduating years from now into a world with very limited employment options. And, or add to that, the gross number of people losing their employment, and it should be crystal clear that a serious problem is on the horizon. We should be doing something about it today.
The country. It might not be the most logical thing to do, but a common reaction from people who can't land a job with a degree they got to make them more employable is to just go get another degree. The rate of master's and PhD recipients has grown even faster than people getting an undergraduate degree.
Really? Huh. About 13.1% have a master's professional degree or a doctorate. Now, about 13.1% of the U.S. adults have an advanced degree, up from 8.6% in 2000. I mean, you can't really make money getting degrees. Like, I'm all for like learning like new shit and whatnot, but eventually you're gonna have to like settle on a degree and try to go get a job. I mean, I can say that, but I don't have no fucking like, I don't even have a bachelor. I just got like an associate because I couldn't make up my mind on what I wanted to do as a bachelor, let alone a master's or a doctorate. Like, holy, that's crazy.
Because that's now normal to stand out in a highly competitive job market. And to be honest, it's a nice way for people to avoid the reality of the job market for another few years. Spending another 2 to 8 years at college to get advanced degrees means people aren't in the labor force, which pulls down the average to look worse than it really is. So those are the ages that are perpetuating this dumb myth. But this trend is also highly dependent on location.
Yeah.
And to see that, you need to go to the place where apparently the absolute least amount of people want to work.
Really? Is it?
Yes. The Rust Belt state has the lowest labor force participation in the country.
West Virginia labor force participation 67.8%, so about 68%. Only 68% of the people are working in West Virginia, and this is the lowest. I mean, okay.
But also some of the most unusual statistical anomalies. The state is quite poor after its major industries like coal mining and manufacturing were either outsourced or simply fell out of widespread use.
So coal mining was either outsourced or, what do you say?
Industries like coal mining and manufacturing were either outsourced or simply fell out of widespread
Use. Outsourced or just fell out of widespread use. Coal mining. I mean, well, don't we still use coal mining? And isn't coal mining like coal mining isn't like what it was back in the day, I think. You know, it's no longer like pickaxes into holes and you're like the fucking like Looney Tunes and shit like that. It's not that. It's more like you have like big ass boring machines and like bore holes that spit out coal, and there's like a lot of just like mechanical things just going on. So isn't this more like, isn't maintaining like a coal mine machine still technically like a mining job, but you're not like directly mining, you're just like maintaining the equipment or operating the equipment. Has it like just been completely obsolete? Huh.
use. This means that a lot of areas have effectively been left behind with no major employment opportunities, meaning that labor force participation is...
I mean, and granted, he's probably just using the coal mining industry as an example. I'm pretty sure the coal mining isn't like the crux industry that led to West Virginia and it's like being at the lowest low. I mean, maybe it is.
Much lower than the national average. But strangely, in some areas, the participation rate is much higher than what would be expected. A recent study conducted by economists from Hamline University, Cornell, and Virginia Tech found that depending on the county, labor force participation in West Virginia ranges from 42% to 77%.
Wait, what drives labor force participation rate variability? In the case of West Virginia, the average labor force participation rate in West Virginia ranges from 42 to 77%, while the average labor force participation rate across the U.S. states range from 54 to 71. So there's about 10% on the bottom side of variability. This wider disparity underscores the need for policies to prioritize local labor market dynamics in order to address county and regional welfare disparities. I'd probably say yeah. I mean, because every city and like any given state has unique properties that go along with that city. You know, if you live near like a city or something, the surrounding environment is going to provide you with like certain things that maybe a other city just cannot provide. So in the case of, I don't know, some city in West Virginia, or maybe it's the entire state of West Virginia is like sitting on top of like random just coal mines. And I don't know, maybe are they just not mining coal because we don't really use a lot of coal now? I mean, isn't coal like I'm sure like some parts of the United States for some industries use coal, like some parts, but like, aren't we like trying to shy away from coal? Last time I checked.
A gap between regions of 35%, while the average across the US states is just 17%, less than half of West Virginia. It's not unusual that cities and working towns will have higher labor force participation than other areas, because people often specifically move to these locations just to get work. But this variance was startling and uncovered a bigger national trend. The people in areas that still had work can't afford not to work, and the people in areas with no work couldn't afford to move to areas with work, since it could mean giving up family support networks or simply paying for the cost to relocate housing. A lot of people who had the financial means have already moved out of the state.
Leaving home. West Virginia population drop. West Virginia population drop is largest in the US. So people are just literally leaving West Virginia. Damn. Shit, I'm not trying to move to West Virginia anytime soon. Everyone's leaving.
State, only making this problem worse, as they take business opportunities and money away with them. It's a dense read because it's an academic paper. It's for nerds. But if you ever feel compelled to say that nobody wants to take their money away with them, it's a dense read because it's an academic paper.
What drives labor force participation rate variability? The case of West Virginia. Oh boy.
It's for nerds. But if you ever feel compelled to say that nobody wants to work anymore, I definitely suggest you have a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole statement, nobody wants to work anymore, whenever somebody says it, is usually, at least in my own case, it's said from like random ass old people that have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They're working the same job I am, or about the same level of job that I am. And they're just talking out of their ass, talking about, oh, my generation, your generation this, my generation that, your generation's lazy, blah, blah, blah. And it's like whenever someone says that, I just don't want to talk to them. I don't even want to like insult them. I just want to ignore you, because that's like a red flag. Like, don't talk to me if you think that's like a true statement. You're so bad.
The report itself also looks at welfare issues specific to West Virginia. But just because the state is experiencing this problem the worst doesn't mean that it's in any way just something hurting them. The trend of a few concentrated cities doing extremely well while everywhere else stagnates can make nationwide figures look good.
Yeah.
But it also means people who want to work have an option of trying their luck for one of the few jobs left in areas with fewer opportunities, or living in an extremely expensive city to compete with everybody else, fighting over a spot in the few places left where people can reliably get ahead. Finance and tech have become one of the last escape ropes for people to make a deal with the devil to get out of these areas with little to no opportunities.
Dang.
And I am going to be writing an article about how even that career path is becoming impossible in my completely free email newsletter. So sign up.
What the fuck? Why do you got the goofy picture of Zuck with like a full face of SPF?
Up if you are interested in reading that and other articles that will never be made into videos here. Thanks for watching, and thanks again to MyHeritage for making this video possible. Check them out by scanning this QR code or clicking the link in the description. Now obviously, a lot of this could be handled by companies just allowing remote work, so go and watch my recent video on why companies absolutely will not let that happen for anybody except their CEOs. And make sure to like and subscribe to keep on learning how money works.
Dang.
It's a classic.
Huh. That's pretty crazy. Nobody wants to work anymore. Is this not the main question that you could ask for the entire history of the United States, trying to figure out how to have like a booming economy, like how people want to work, whether or not they want to work. Are you okay working? Are you not okay working? How do, you know, I don't know if we'll ever be able to like answer this question. How to have a, I don't know, solid foundation for like a city or like an environment that people can like live in. Shit. Bro, I say fuck all this and let's just go to UBI. Fuck it. Oh man. But overall, this is a pretty cool video. There's a lot of cool things I could like. I kind of want to read that paper. Yeah. With the other thumbnail, generation delusional. Oh man. Okay. That was a cool video. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Keep them coming, dude. Another banger. That's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right. Later.